The Shri, this is a unit which has tough vocabulary for me. Picture this. A traveler sails the Indian Ocean around the year 1300. Leaving Cairo, they pass through Aden in Arabia, across to Calicut in India, and onward to the bustling port of Malacca. Along the way, they encounter towering Hindu temples, majestic mosques, and Buddhist monasteries. They hear dozens of languages from Sanskrit to Arabic to Malay. They see merchants trading pepper, cotton, ivory, and porcelain. This was South and Southeast Asia between 1200 and 1450, a region of political fragmentation, religious diversity, and vibrant trade. It was a crossroads where Hinduism, Buddhism, and Islam collided, competed, and blended into new cultural forms. To understand this period, let's go back to India's last great ancient empire, the Gupta Empire. It had collapsed in the 6th century. Unlike China, India did not unify under one dynasty afterward. Instead, it fragmented into smaller kingdoms and regional states. In the north, Muslim invaders established the Delhi Sultanate in the early 1200s. In the south, Hindu kingdoms like the Chola and later the Vijayanagara. I'm gonna have to ask you to look for that spelling in closed captions. And later the Vijayanagara maintained relative stability. Meanwhile, Southeast Asia had long been shaped by the Indian cultural influence. Through trade, Indian merchants and priests had spread Hinduism and Buddhism to places like Cambodia, Java, and Srivijaya. By 1200, these traditions had taken root. But now Islam was arriving too, carried by merchants and Sufi missionaries. The result was a region that could not be reduced to a single empire or religion. Instead, India was a patchwork, diverse, contested, and dynamic. Let's start with South Asia. In southern India, compared to the north, the south was more stable. The Chola dynasty, beginning 1850, lasting to 1267, controlled southern India and parts of Sri Lanka. With a strong navy, they dominated trade in the Indian Ocean. After the Chola, the Vijayanagara, I'm never going to get that right, the V Empire, which lasted from 1336 to 1646, rose. It was founded by two brothers, Harihara and Bukka, who had originally served the Delhi Sultanate as Muslim converts. But later, the brothers reconverted to Hinduism. The story of the brothers shows how fluid religious identity could be in this period. The Vijayanagara, maybe got that right? The Vijayanagara became a powerful Hindu state until it was eventually overthrown by Muslim kingdoms. In northern India was much more fragmented and unstable when compared to southern India. The Rajput kingdoms, small Hindu principalities, constantly fought each other. This disunity made them vulnerable to outside invaders. That vulnerability became clear with the rise of the Delhi Sultanate, which began in 1206, lasting to 1526. Turkic and Afghan Muslims from Central Asia conquered northern India, establishing their capital at Delhi. The sultans struggled to control the diverse population. They imposed the jizya tax on non-Muslims, which bred resentment among Hindus. Yet Delhi also became a vibrant cultural center, where Islamic architecture, Persian art, and Indian traditions blended. There were notable Delhi sultans. Iltutmish consolidated northern India and secured recognition from the Abbasid Caliph. Raziya Sultan, his daughter, briefly ruled, a rare example of a female Muslim monarch. though she faced opposition due to her gender. Alauddin Khalji, expanded into Gujarat and strengthened the state's economy. Muhammad ibn Tughluq experimented with currency reforms and tried balancing Hindu-Muslim relations, but faced rebellions. Firuz Shah built canals and public works, but alienated Hindus by taxing Brahmins, the highest class in Hindu society. By the 14th century, rebellions and foreign invasions weakened the Delhi Sultanate. Finally, in 1526, the Mughal Empire would sweep in and replace it. But that's for a later unit. Religious diversity was a defining feature. Hinduism, with its polytheism, elaborate rituals, and caste system, provided continuity. Temples were centers of culture, education, and economic activity. Islam, monotheistic and egalitarian, it contrasted sharply with Hindu traditions. Islam spread through both conquest and voluntary conversion. Many lower caste Hindus found Islam appealing because it offered social mobility, which was denied to them by their caste in the Hindu tradition. Disillusioned Buddhists, whose monasteries had been attacked during Muslim invasions, also converted. Sufism, this mystical branch of Islam, played a crucial role. Sufis emphasized devotion, tolerance, and personal relationships with God. Sufis blended with local traditions, making Islam more acceptable. The result was syncretism. Languages like Urdu emerged, blending Hindi grammar with Arabic and Persian vocabulary. Architecture like the Qutub Minar and Delhi showcased Islamic forms built with Indian craftsmanship. Despite Islam's spread, the caste system remained a strong continuity. It organized society into rigid hierarchies, providing stability in a politically fragmented landscape. Even converts to Islam often found that caste identity lingered socially. At the same time, cultural exchange was vibrant. Mathematics, science, and literature flowed between Muslim and Hindu scholars. Islamic architecture influenced Hindu temples, and Hindu aesthetics influenced Islamic design. The Bhakti movement, beginning in the 12th century, reshaped Hindu practice. Bhakti saints emphasized personal devotions to deities like Vishnu or Shiva, accessible to all, regardless of caste or gender. This mirrored Sufi mysticism in many ways, an emotional direct connection to the divine. South Asia influenced Southeast Asia profoundly, but local cultures adapted Indian ideas in unique ways. Let's take a look at the Sea Kingdoms. The Srivijaya Empire, which began in 620 and lasted to 1025, was based on Sumatra, Hindu, and controlling trade between India and China through naval power. The Majapahit Empire, beginning in 1293 and lasting to 1520, was based on Java, Buddhist, and also a naval power dominating sea routes. There were land-based kingdoms, the Sinhala dynasties of modern Sri Lanka, long centers of Buddhist learning, though weakened by internal conflict and invasions. The Khmer Empire of Angkor, beginning in 802 and lasting to 1431, built advanced irrigation and drainage systems which supported huge populations. Its rulers shifted from Hinduism to Buddhism, leaving behind temples like Angkor Wat that still inspire awe. There was a spread of Islam in Southeast Asia. By the 13th century, Islam spread through ports and Sufi missionaries. Most converts were urban merchants who saw advantages in connecting with the wider Muslim world. Islam blended with local traditions. In Indonesia, for example, Sufi teachers allowed flexibility, creating a syncretic Islam unique to the region. There were strategic ports. The Strait of Malacca became one of the most important maritime choke points in the world. The city of Malacca rose in the 15th century as a cosmopolitan hub, governed with the help of foreign merchant officials. Its low taxes and strong alliances attracted Indian, Chinese, and Arab traders. South and Southeast Asia between 1200 and 1450 show us the power of diversity and exchange. Politically fragmented, yet economically vibrant. Religiously divided, yet producing profound syncretism. Culturally distinct, yet tied together by Indian Ocean trade. For AP students, these regions are excellent case studies in claims and evidence. For example, how do we know Islam spread peacefully as well as militarily? We can point to Sufi traditions, Bhakti poetry, and the cosmopolitanism of Malacca as evidence. They're also essential for comparisons. Compare the caste system's rigidity to Confucian social hierarchies. Compare the Vijayanagaras, go to the closed caption for spelling, the Vijayanagaras blending of Islam and Hinduism to the Ottoman Empire's later use of religion for legitimacy. In the global tapestry of 1200 to 1450, South and Southeast Asia were crossroads of culture and commerce. They were not defined by one empire or one religion, but by interaction, diversity, and exchange. In our next lecture, we'll cross the Pacific to examine state building in the Americas, where the Maya, Aztecs, and Inca created civilizations as sophisticated and unique as any in Eurasia. Until then, stay curious, because history matters.